Okay, students, since we're starting to dabble a little bit with oil pastel, and I'm not certain who has some experience with them or not, I'm just going to show you some tips and tricks that hopefully will help you be more successful. Of course, I want you to do a little bit of planning, practicing in your journal with some different blending and smoothing ideas first ahead of time. I definitely wouldn't just attempt it for the first time on your final drawing. But I'm just gonna use this time to show you some tips and tricks that I've kind of learned along the way just to help me. So hope that these help. So the first thing I've done is just kind of drawn a little picture here. I've got a flower peeking in right here. This is going to be the sky with some clouds, and then I've got these mountains here, and I've got some good overlapping going on. And then I noticed that I just noticed this right before I started the video. This petal stopped right there where that line was stopping, and that is a funky area to start and stop something. Okay, so what I'm going to do is extend it. That's why it's kind of darker right here, because I looked at it and thought, no way am I doing that. So I'm going to extend that over like that so I get some good overlapping. So what you want to do with oil pastels, well, really with anything, is work on the background first. Okay, just work on the background first. Okay, what I'm starting with right now is just getting some color laid out in the background, okay? And you're going, with oil pastels, guys, you're going to get your fingers dirty. Notice I have Q-tips here, but with oil pastels, it's always good to cover. I should have another piece of paper. I don't have one with me right now. Hold on a second. Hold on tightly. I have this paper. I'm just gonna take it. I would always consider just getting a scrap piece of paper and covering it, so that when you have oil pastel all over your fingers, you're not like touching down here, okay? That's the first tip and trick that I want to teach you, is dirty oil pastel all over your fingers and you're touching your page all over the place. It's just gonna be a big old mess. So put a piece of paper down here where you're not working, and remember, we're working with the background first. So I added some color. The first thing I want to do is just get some blending going on with my finger like this, okay? Yes, I can use my Q-tip, but not yet. I want to do layers. I need to do some layers. So I added that first color there. Then what I want to do is start blending and mixing different colors, because I probably don't want just one shade in the background. But here's what I love about oil pastels. Okay, I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna zoom in. So this is what I was talking about. I zoomed in a little bit. So I've got the darker colors that I added, but then when you take the oil pastel and you rub it over the top, you get these pretty little mixture of colors, okay? You get a lot of mixture that's going on. Here's tip number 2, okay? I've had some students go in with they come in with the first color, and then maybe the second color, and then they take a third color, and here's what they do. They do this. And they just start going to town and covering it, and then now look what I've done. What have I done to this? I've pretty much covered everything and blended and mixed those 3 colors together to make this color. So now I have the green, the dark blue, and then this blue, and they're all blended and mixed together to make a 4th color. So this is not what I want to do. I don't want so much mixing that I've done that, okay? What I want is a mixing that works well together, maybe a little bit of mixing, and then I can come in and do a little bit of smoothing with my finger And then sometimes I'll take the Q-tip just to smooth things out and pull out. Like this is a good little pulling out method, and I teach this with painting, but the same thing kind of applies with oil pastel. Maybe that area you just want it to be a little bit smoother and a little bit lighter, so then I just pull that out. I'm not doing anything with this area because I ruined it, okay? I have had some students in the past that completely ruined it and just did so much color that it just got muddy. And what I had them do to repair it is to take a scraper or their fingernail, watch guys, and you can literally scrape a layer of that off. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm scraping it off, okay? So the luxury of having fingernails, right? But that's what you could do. I think I have some, I don't know, we can figure something out. Get a credit card. Get a credit card out of your wallet or your purse and use that. But see, I can scrape that off, and then I might be able to maybe add more colors in there, you see? Yeah, that might work, you know, to lighten it up or something. But that oil pastels work really well if you want to do like a blend of colors like this, okay? Okay, here's another idea. If you are not wanting this much color variation and you want more like solid colors that flow into other colors, I went ahead and added like this orange color and really coated it on thick. And then you see these little chunks. Sometimes you'll get chunks like this. Just blow them. I know. Yeah, just blow them. I wouldn't, if you have a chunk, I wouldn't do this and kind of try to swipe it off your paper. Otherwise, you'll have a big mark that'll go all the way across. So just blow those off. And then what I can do if I'm working with blends, let's say this orange is going to blend into maybe another color. I need to figure out what would look good. And I'm almost thinking, oh, let me just think. How about this color? It's like a pink. You guys, it's like a pink. I'm just gonna take that off. So I'm thinking layering them. In other words, I'm going over the top just slightly to create a second color right there. Do you see that? So orange and then an orange and pink is creating a second color right here. And I'm really just kind of layering it on. And then of course it broke. Sometimes that happens. Pretty soon we'll have all these little teeny tiny pieces and chunks of oil pastels all over. But that's okay. But see how I can blend and use it to blend and mix and make new colors. So I've got those little tiny burrs all over the place. Don't brush them, just kind of blow them off. And then maybe find another shade. Like I went from that orange to, I think it was this orange, from this orange to this pink, and then now it's getting lighter, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna just kind of blend here, do this. And those colors, see that one broke too, sorry guys. But that color is going to layer over the top. But you see how pretty you can add your layers like this with colors and get lighter and lighter and lighter. But what you need to do, that's why you're creating planning pages, okay? That's why I want really good planning pages, because I want you practicing these skills ahead of time. Don't do it on the original. Just start practicing, and I might have this like go to the middle like that. That might be kind of pretty. And then what I'll do is add a really light blush color. Let's see what happens. But find colors, everybody, that really accentuate each other. Like these are all kind of in the same color family. And so they're gonna look good together because they all have that little hint of red. They all have red in common. Even this one has a hint of red in it. It's like a red and a white and maybe a hint of orange probably. And then pink obviously is a shade of red because it's red with white added to it. This is a shade of red, and that is a shade of red. It's a red orange. So they all have red in common. So that's kind of what I want you to do, is come up with color schemes. A lot of oil pastel work is knowing what color schemes you are going to use and what colors work well together. So we have a color theory, we have little color theory posters on the cabinets to the right of the TV screen. Kind of look at those and try to start figuring that out and add all that information on your planning page. And then that way you have a good plan ahead of time. You've practiced all of these techniques. You know what works and what doesn't work. And then you are prepared. So just, you know, you can still go in. If I wanted to smooth this out a little bit more, I could definitely use this to smooth it out a little bit more. I could take color that's already on it and just do subtle color areas in white area in the white areas if I wanted. But I know I jumped from the background to the actual object that is in front of it. But this is just for a demonstration. But knowing that you, if this was your final piece, you would be doing the background ahead of time before you do the middle ground and the foreground. But anyway, just play with it and see. I just want everybody to have the experience of working with oil pastels, because it's always good to have something else in your tool belt in case you end up taking an AP class. The more skills and mediums and techniques you know, the better well-rounded artist you will be.